What's up, you're off and God's Country with Reid
and Dan Isbell,
also known as the Brothers Hunt, where we take a weekly drive to the intersection of country music and the great outdoors. You hear my asthma wheezy going on?
I did. You're wheezy.
Two things that go together like the second week of November and being in the deer stand in the Midwest. There ain't nothing better.
Or sucking wind on the side of a mountain and being from Tennessee. This podcast is brought to you by MeatEater and I Heart Podcasts.
One of our favorite dudes in Nashville, a songwriter, a giant bow hunter. I mean, he lives and breathes it. Goes out west every year to Illinois and hunts big deer. Goes out to Colorado, hunts big elk with his bow every year. Does it by himself.
Been in the biz for a minute, dude.
Yeah, man, just one of the best cats that you'll ever meet.
Yeah, supportive.
Totally.
And totally just excited about your journey and to help you along with your journey and to not really want anything from you. It's kind of a selfless cat.
Rob Hatch was out with us in God's Country today. He was a part of a group from about 2001 to 2012, 13, 14, 15. Dominated the industry.
Yeah.
Like, there ain't no telling the number of hits that came from their 6-group guide Traler Park.
And the beautiful thing is that it was a very organic uprising, right? Like they
Totally.
all came
No
from
tricks.
no funding,
No scammy,
no
no
money, just talent and
good dudes
and
doing
willpower, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they came up together. It's a pretty cool story. You're going to enjoy hearing that.
Yeah, so check that out. Rob Hatch is with us. Thank y'all for the support. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the smashies. Thank you for the...
What's a smashy?
Smashy that follow button.
Oh, that's so hip, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm TikToky, bro.
Yeah, cap.
I'm pop locky, tip tocky.
That's enough.
Thanks for hanging out in God's Country.
See you later.
Man, I am so excited, dude. We go back, bro. I was trying to think like how we met Rob. And was it through Southwest?
I believe it was Abram. Did y'all come up with Abram?
No, it was before that.
It was before that. Y'all came up with Paul Jenkins?
Maybe.
I can't remember who invited us. Like, I was trying to remember who invited us.
I remember the both of you and Megan. I remember the three of you coming up. Megan Patrick.
Yeah,
the
and
three
Langston,
of y'all came up to hunt.
Langston was there.
Yeah, but we were doing it. I mean,
We were before that.
Yeah, man. Like, I designed the website.
Yeah, like we were just starting it.
Yeah,
Just starting.
It was the very
It might have just
beginning.
been you. I mean, I feel like you might have just, maybe me and you ran into each other somewhere or something. And I was like, hey, ain't you a big deer hunting son of a bitch? And he was like, yeah, dude, y'all got to come up. We got this thing going on. I
It
think,
could have been me.
I think it's
Yeah.
that.
I couldn't remember. We're talking about Southern Illinois Whitetail Connection. The spot in Illinois, Fairfield, Illinois, that Rob's a part of. And
For some reason, I remember being
this
on
deer,
the...
this deer right here actually came
That's right.
from that spot. It's my first. That's my first ever bow kill with a.
That was a great day, man.
Yeah,
Great day.
You were as
Great
happy as
day.
I've ever
Oh,
seen you.
I lost my pub deal. I lost my Sonny pub deal over that deer. I swear on it. I hunted so hard. I was canceling days. I never got days with the artists, and I was getting them. I was canceling them, son, to go
Remember
hunt
the
the
big
rut.
one you saw in the stand with the two of you?
I still...
That
I
story.
can-
I've told that story 1,000 times trying to tell it like you. About seeing the monster deer through the woods with the head turning.
Tell it.
Well, I know where I was hunting, but it was, if I'm remembering correctly, a Jeep or something had come around the block of woods that I was in, and I'd been sitting there forever. And to the point where I was like, man, ain't no deer out here. You know what I mean? Like, I've been there that long. We had spent that much time up there because that was pre-kids. So we had like,
Oh, dude.
and bro,
I spent way too much time up there.
and I hadn't thought about that deer in a minute, but now that you say that, I remember seeing the gray skin sagging, like his brisket was like when he was running. You know how you see a dude that's like lost a ton of weight running on the side of the road that doesn't have a shirt on, and the skin's like kind of. That's exactly what this deer was doing coming through the woods, and I was like, wait! I was trying to get to my bow man, and he was like angling his head to not
Like
catch.
missed branches and stuff.
And I was like,
He said it sounded like Louisville sluggers hitting trees.
Yeah, it did. It was just
crack,
popping trees and cracking and going. And I was just like, that's by far the biggest deer I've ever seen. Remember that morning I saw 2 shooters in the same morning.
That's right. And bro, that's like,
In
that's
a block
coming
of
from,
woods no bigger than this friggin' house we're in.
that was kind of like maybe our introduction to Midwest
I
hunting.
think it woke me up to like the cat that y'all's place for sure woke me up to the like understanding the caliber of deer up there versus what I had been hunting my entire life.
Well, and at that time, I was brand new up
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
We were just starting.
Sure.
So I was learning it like you guys were, you know, and I saw your face
Dude.
when you came down from the stand. And I'm like, well, I didn't see anything. You're like,
Yeah, some Jeep Cherokee was mudding up on the hedgerow, and I was like, man, this son of a bitch is ruining my. And dude, I'm telling you, it's like, you know, man, when you see that when you go to college for the first time,
Okay.
and that girl comes out, and you're like, they do not build them like that in my hometown.
That's different.
This is
That's different. Whatever
this is
that
a
is
bit
is
of an
different.
awakening here, and I am not worthy of that. Like that's exactly how I felt about that deer when he was coming through there. I was like, oh man, I mean, I'm gonna try to sling an arrow, but I'm shook.
okay, here's a question. Now that you have killed a monster deer, what do you score that deer at? Because you're the only one who saw it.
Minimum 190.
Really?
Minimal.
Yeah.
Minimal. Honestly, kind of the same. You know what, man? I mean, it was pretty quick, but I think the deer I saw in Illinois had more mass. It was a massier, but it was that same white, like bone white. I mean, do you see a deer with mega 2s and like just mega G2s, and you're immediately like, ho, 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 it like hits you in your guts. But that deer particularly had mega 2s, mega 3. And when you see that whole thing going on, and there's not a whole lot of loss and time length, and the mass is just,
It changes things.
It'll shake the most seasoned, got it together hunter, and it did me. It put me in a spot where I couldn't even see straight. Dude.
And we never killed that deer. We never got him on camera. I mean, I land blasted that place with cameras after you saw that deer. I wanted to see him so bad.
And bro, I know what I saw, man. And I'll tell you the other deer that shakes me, man. Oh, you remember in that lodge, there's those 2 8-points locked up that are
Yeah, the broke neck ape for the
They're
broke neck.
giants, dude. Those deer are giants.
Those are Steve's granddad found.
That's right. Remember the trail cam picture we had of that 8 in the same place.
Halloween book.
Do you remember?
I do.
And he looks
I lost sleep over that.
like Brian Urlacher, just turning
Roman nose.
Oh,
Yeah.
the mass at the bases was just so.
Yeah, that was the first year we'd kind of land blasted cameras, and we got to really look at some of those because some of them hadn't been shot with cameras on those properties before. Yeah. So we got a lot of y'all saw all of them. I mean, we were all like,
Yeah, dude.
how old is this deer? I mean,
That bottom.
how can you not find something that big laying there? I mean,
exactly.
It's like
Dude, that's a really good point, especially when everything's cut, like we were talking about. Like you're talking about. I mean, arguably, I don't know what y'all's deer go up there. 300, 280.
do what now?
How does they weigh?
Oh gosh, they're not quite. I mean, the real big ones might get that high.
I got you.
They're mid 2s probably.
Gotcha. But man, I remember just being like, this is not like it's almost like we were playing high school ball and
It's the big leagues.
This is MLB.
It's
dude.
the
And then the
pros.
rut, when a lot of them are getting killed, they've lost a lot of weight at that time. So I mean, if you could weigh them, if you killed them in October, right at the beginning, it'd be interesting to what they weigh then. We don't kill a lot of big deer early. It's
Yeah.
November on usually.
Really?
Well, you'll.
What are your seasons up there? What's your shot?
Well, October 1st, it'll come in, right? But then you try, like, everybody's like, man, I'm going to kill them right away. I'm going to go ahead and, while I got a pattern, I'm going to go ahead and kill
They
them.
move. They change.
Well, they could start cutting corn same time.
Sure.
So remember the one behind the camp where I had two
Yes.
160-inch deer together still right at the beginning of the season. They were coming 4 days in a row through the same opening in the gate, perfect wind. I'm like, I got it.
Yeah.
So I slide back there with my bow and I slide up the stand and they do exactly come out of the cornfield. I'm watching them come out of the corn, transition into the woods at 20 yards broadside. Now they came out 20 minutes early, so I can only see the outline of them, right? And I probably could have stuck one, but I was at the point where I couldn't tell which one was which. That's how dark it was, right?
Sure.
So I'm like, perfect wind tomorrow. I'll let them deer go.
Because they'll be back tomorrow.
They'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Go back to the camp, decide not to hunt the morning, hunt somewhere else in the morning.
Yeah.
Come back the afternoon, corn was gone. They had skint the whole.
Changed everything.
Well, they just weren't there. They're not. They were sleeping in the corn.
Yeah.
Transitioning to the woods.
Yeah, they got changed. They got pattern
corn.
changed immediately.
So, beginning of the season, and it changes what he plants first to what he cuts first.
Sure.
So I haven't been able to go, okay, he's going to cut this property the end of the first week of October.
Do you feel like those farmers are on like a year, as far as year to year, are tight to that schedule, or do you think it's kind of weather dependent and kind of what's going on?
I think I'm not smart enough to be in the farming business.
Same.
And I learned to stay out of I let the farming be the farming, and if he chose to pick or plant at a certain order or time,
you just go by what he's...
right.
Yeah.
He had his reasons for doing it. He doesn't have time to explain to me why he did it. I can go by the rule of he'll transition from corn to beans.
Yeah.
Like whatever was corn one year will be beans the next year.
Every time.
Is a rule. He's planting some canola this time and stuff. We know what it'll do.
Yeah.
What did deer do with...
We have no idea. We'll find out.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just a new thing they're trying
Crop hunting in the Midwest is something that
Hang on. This is Rob Hatch, by the way.
No, we're gonna we're gonna get there.
We already got in, dude. And we
it's gonna be one of those podcasts, man. This is our boy. We're just gonna hang out today.
Yeah.
But Midwest hunting, like figuring out that and figuring out like how to hunt huge ag and the cut schedule and
there's so many variables.
My goodness, it's different than just like in the South where like you just find a good trail and you put a stand on it and hunt a good wind.
Right,
like that ain't the case.
That ain't how it's going, man. Yeah, you get a better idea of bedding, food, water.
Completely, man. The whole picture.
Yeah, you gotta kind of get to watch deer be deer as opposed to like in the South where it's like, oh God, shoot him fast as you possibly
everything's
can.
bedding, everything's in acre flat, everything's
cover. I mean, there's not a whole lot of wide.
And
like
I said, the deer are in the fields. Like when the crops are there, the deer in the corn,
Ain't no
in
doubt.
the beans. That's where they're at most of the time.
And Milo, they are living in there.
It makes a lot of sense too when you think about it. If they've got water, they've got cover, they've got food.
Right. I mean, every field we got's got a pond in the middle of it at some point, so there's water right there.
Yeah.
They're laying in the food.
Yeah.
They just don't have to go very far.
Yeah.
How big? I mean, like I'm trying to remember. I mean, those fields in Kansas are. I mean, they're the same size as the fields in Illinois, like a couple hundred acres.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's not like 20-acre fields.
Giant ag.
No,
we're
they're
giant
more
ag.
400 to 600 probably. Yeah. A block.
Bro, that's a lot of corn.
Yeah, I mean, and we had. We were super fortunate to get to look at a lot of property.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, he's playing, 10, 11,000 acres.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot, and it's not consecutive. It's
Right.
Pieces.
Yeah.
Man, me and Reid were talking about that a couple of podcasts ago. That to me, I mean, look, if you have the luxury to do it, I get it. Ground stuff to come by these days, but I'd almost rather have, instead of one giant contiguous, which is great, but it's kind of nice to have
fantastic
multiple things because things can be going on over here that aren't going over.
Well, you don't drive through people's spot. You don't bust spots.
That too.
Like in our case, it's if you pick a stand, you picked a property. So there's nobody else on your 500-acre property.
You picked a herd. You got your own herd.
Yeah,
every property we tried to set up to where it's our best spot. Yeah. And so it's like, they all have parking spots on each side. And they all have north and south wind stands and, here's where the food
they got
is.
It wasn't that set up last time. We were like, be careful about that ditch. But once if you can get across it, just park right there.
Well, you see what Reid started. You see here, I know it's a podcast, terrible time to bring an app up, but
Reid started.
Well, me started talking about ways to put apps and stuff together to not have to have guides, and so we just
flip that to the camera,
just real fast.
If you can see it. Yeah,
everything. This is my Onyx.
I forgot you could pause on YouTube.
Everything purple is our properties, so each one is set up to where here's the parking, here's the exit, here's where you go, and here's the wind, here's what's corn. Here's what's beans. Here's what's greens. Here's
Nice.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So just trying to do what we would all do.
Sure.
Running lots of cameras.
And doing that year after year after year, man. Those spots and those places, and eventually you kind of know those deer,
Sure.
like the back of your hand a little bit.
We start to learn tricks. Jake's looking, watching him all the time. Shout out Jake.
Shout out, Jay.
Absolutely. Jake King.
It's running lots of cameras and staying away from them. Like we've learned to, we don't go in after beginning of August. Like none of our properties get touched by anything that's not a tractor.
Yeah.
No putting up stands. No putting in other cameras.
Oh, wow.
No giving them a couple months of
Nothing.
those deer. They'll find it, man. Yeah. They'll find whatever's not getting messed with.
That's right.
As I do.
That is absolutely right. Yeah. And we've said this before, but like, because kids kind of made us do that, they made us slow down, even though we did not want to slow down.
Sure.
Honestly, the movement on our properties has been better since we're not just hunting the hell out of it.
You do a lot of mental hunting. A
For
lot
sure.
of planning and
For
strategy
sure.
and how can I get to this spot in the right wind? How can he not get on me? How can I set it up with every favor in my advantage and him still comfortable?
And what are the deer naturally doing in that moment? It's like, is it rut? Is it pre-rut?
That's right.
Is it post-rut? Is it dry?
Changes
Is it
weekly.
A lot of rain?
Yeah,
Are your food plots doing good? Are they dirt and not doing anything?
Well, like in Illinois, you get a good rain, a 2-inch rain. You have to really consider whether you can get to the stand.
Really?
Well, it used to depend on if it's is it a low spot, is it a muddy spot. You know that spot y'all used to hunt. You got to pack a lunch to get to that fast.
I remember a couple people got the early morning sun. They was about 30 degrees. They jumping in ditches waist high, coming out
there was some wet
frozen.
some bitches, dude.
Yeah, like it's flat. It'll be easy to get to. Right?
Bow, everything.
What was that little red? You remember that little red Polaris? That you
Yeah,
had?
I still got it. The first model ever made, right?
Bro.
That thing's mean.
2008 or
Me
something.
and Reid were stuffed in that thing driving to that property like 2 footballs in a
It's a
church
monster.
and a church sock. Man, we were like, I was hanging out half the side driving that thing. Man, it was.
A buddy of mine gave me that for doing a show.
That's a good one. That's a good
one.
gift. Yeah.
Yeah, kill a lot of
Dude,
deer.
we got to the point. I was like, man, is this a youth? Like, I appreciate him letting us hang out up here, but I can't even put my backpack in this joke.
It was one of those little sport Polaris.
It was like,
Small. Yeah.
we were hauling down there.
Man, I don't know as a hunter if there is a better feeling than getting to about that 2:30 spot in the afternoon when it's in November and you're gearing up to get ready to go to the stand and driving to that afternoon set.
It's pretty sweet.
That is one of the best. And that Polaris, man, just mind going crazy. Because out there, bro, you never know, man.
Yeah.
Everybody
You never know what
excited,
you're about to see.
cold, don't know what's going to happen.
Cold front
You
coming
know,
through, bro. It is the best.
Big
man.
deer moving, front coming
Ain't no
in.
doubt. Hey, man, we've got multi-hit songwriting.
We're 16 minutes
including I Don't Dance by Lee Brice, If Heaven Wasn't So Far Away by Justin Moore, Big Deer Killing, Big Bass Wrangling. Man, one of our favorite people in Nashville. We got Rob Hatch out and guys.
Family.
Yeah,
Thanks for hanging out,
Thank y'all
man.
for having me,
Thanks for
boys.
coming,
Yeah,
dog.
you've heard us refer to him on previous episodes, man. He's
That's
just such a thread in the fabric of our hunting and music and friends and mentorship. And not to make you old, but you really did. You had some.
Not young.
Yeah, you had some things.
We ain't either now.
That still ring in my head occasionally. I'm like, yeah, Rob said that. He's correct about
Well, I'm
that.
really proud of you guys, man.
Thank you, man.
Y'all have just grown and thrived.
Appreciate it.
in every way, man. In the music and your home lives and your careers, and I'm just really proud of you guys.
Thank
man.
you,
I
man.
knew you were going to, man. Y'all were well on your way, man.
was
Y'all could
fun.
already
I didn't
see the light.
you could see that light, but we couldn't see that.
That's kind of been
y'all are-
the I feel like the best part of God's country, man, is like the relationships we've had from the beginning of town where, dude, you don't know what's going to happen. You're not going to know if you're going to be here in 5 years.
Oh,
you don't know
bro,
where anybody's going to be, what anybody's going to be doing. To sit here and kind of reminisce on the good and bad from everybody's journey in this town, man. This crazy freaking ride that we all do, like that's kind of been the most rewarding part of God's country for us.
Feels
man.
like a miracle when it works.
Ain't no doubt.
Oh.
Ain't no doubt.
come on, look at that, dude. That got me because that is exact. Look at these thighs, bro. You see these chicken skin thighs I got?
You don't
How much weight have you lost, dude? What are you talking about?
I mean, honestly, dude, I just am not eating anymore. I had to, man. I had to chill.
You lost a small child, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe my 5 or 6 year old dude at this point. You know what I'm saying?
That's still a small child, right?
Yeah, I mean, I got 2 really small
Not
children.
you at 5 years old, but Liza at 5 years
I have
old.
not lost me at 5 years old, no.
For everybody trying to lose weight out there, if you lose lots of weight, God will give you a 200-inch deer.
It's true. It's true, man. I guess so. I
Best
guess
motivation
so.
for weight
Like babies bring number ones, losing weight brings 200.
Man, but the way I see it, man, and me and LC, we've been going through this together, man. It's like, bro, we've been eating whatever the hell we wanted for 40 years, dude. It was time. And you get to a place, man, when Reid talked about it last podcast, it seems like there's a common thread in our age folks right now, like, hey, man, if I don't clean this up, I'm going to die. And that's kind of where I was. I don't care.
I got more to live for right now than I ever have.
Brother,
Sure.
When them babies pop, dude, and they ready to hang out and run, man. I want to live for them, man.
That's right.
For a while, I didn't really care either way. It was kind of just like, man, how do I kill big deer and write big songs and eat big hamburgers? That's kind of all I cared about. Yeah. And you start trimming it back, and you realize that you got other people depending on you for their. And I say this all the time, but it's like Liza, Boone, and Buck, dude. They didn't pick me as their dad. Like that's what they got, and it's my responsibility. I brought them. Well, God brought them, but I helped bring them into this
the vessel
existence. So like. And let that be a lesson to dads out there, dude. Like, a lot of the people we surround ourselves with are good, solid dads. But there's some dudes out there that need to take some responsibility and stop putting themselves first and put them kids first, man. It's about them, dude.
I mean, we love to hunt. I mean, we love it. We eat, sleep, and breathe it. But the kids are family's the most important thing, right?
Sure.
That's got to be handled first. And when there's time to hunt, we go hunt.
And I remember some days where he was like, "Oh, I gotta go, man." We're like, "Bro, the front's rolling in tomorrow," and you were like, "I know, Dan, but I've got to go."
Yeah, and we don't understand it.
I knew when we started the club, I had babies. I was like, okay.
Yeah, yours are about where ours are now.
This is a terrible time for me to get more time in the woods.
Yeah.
Like this is
to get Midwest opportunity.
So you start going, you narrow it down to, okay, I'm going to take this 6-day here, and I'm going to come for this weekend and for this weekend. Mm-hmm. And I have to be cool with it.
Yeah.
Because everything's too slam for me to, I'm going to slide up on Thursday when the front comes in. Yeah, you'll miss the kids' football game on Friday night.
Right.
So you just go, well, no, can't do that. And you start going, I can't get this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like, okay, please let there be a front next week, God. Please let it go.
I'll never sin again.
Please let it go. I'll lose weight like Dan. Please let it get cold. Please let it get cold.
All right, let's get into what you're mad at. We're 20 minutes into this
What you
thing.
mad at?
Yeah,
Shoot,
yeah,
I forgot.
Just right quick.
Sorry, dude.
What is that?
Give me one more time. Oh yeah, what you mad at? Just what it is, what you mad at. Is it your in-laws kid? Might be your boss man or your neighbor's cat. Just tell us what you mad at. You got little jingles around here, Rob.
Y'all
don't you
killing it. Next, you'll have a button that just plays y'all.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a good
We've
idea.
actually talked about that, so I don't have to mess it up every time. Ironically, all of our songs sound the same, though. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I'm mad at.
It's a style.
Yeah, for sure.
I missed another exit this morning. I just talked to Rob, and I was like, I'll be there in 5 minutes.
What's up with you missing exits?
I think it's Siri, man. I think Siri needs to be checked on my phone or something.
Think Siri's lost?
I think something's going on.
I don't
Because
think
even
Siri's
last night we were coming home. We played a gig. North of Nashville last night.
This was annoying.
Dude, it was late. Like we didn't start till
Hold on.
7:30.
It wasn't late. It was like 9:30.
I'm just saying.
But it was late to us now.
Bro, I'm asleep. But we're rolling down. We get done rolling down. I call my wife. I'm like, hey, it says 45 minutes. I'll be home in 45 minutes. She's like, all right. Rolling down 24, coming back into Nashville from Hendersonville area. We get to the 24-65 split. My GPS is like, just go straight.
Say straight,
It's all
65.
blue, 45 minutes.
Okay.
As soon as the 65 split goes this way, all of a sudden, the thing on my truck turns completely red, gridlocked.
It's true.
And it says an hour and 7 minutes. I was like,
He's like,
this thing just added 30 minutes.
yeah, you did.
I was so mad. So anyway, this morning, same thing. Wedgwood. It's like go straight. I miss Wedgwood.
Wait, how do you not know to take Wedgwood?
Well, I've always taken Wedgwood, but I was trying to get here quite faster this morning because I was late. Anyway, told me to go straight. It added like 7 minutes to my drive. Anyway, so I had to go around downtown, get up off of on Demumbrian, and come up through Demumbrian right there around the circle. Bro, whoever is in charge of doing construction in that part of town right there across from Tin Roof and all that stuff, bro, just stop, man. Just stop. Literally, it's been 10 years of traffic cones.
Yeah,
and
a dude
big
standing over
trucks and green, and the vest, man. I'm so
That dude's arm is wore out.
dog. He's got job security because it ain't never gonna stop, man. I'm so sick of it. Whatever, Nashville's progressing, but like, just let us have clean streets for just a minute. Man. Just a minute, dude. I'm so sick of it.
I feel you.
I'm so sick of it.
I'm not mad at anything. I'm sorry. I tried. I'm going through my head.
Be glad at something.
I mean, I've killed a big deer recently.
Oh God, we all know. We all know.
My t-shirts are fitting pretty well. Headed to the beach. I'm in a pretty good spot, dude. I got nothing. Rob, pass to Rob.
Black Angus cows. I am furious.
Wait, man, I
can't wait to
love
hear.
Black Angus cows.
You won't after this.
On a hamburger, on a
gotta
grill.
we all to learn it in a.
You ain't even gonna eat red meat. You so mad at
I'm
him.
so mad. Blew my elk hunt. Blew the whole thing for me
This year,
a couple weeks ago.
Oh, September.
Oh yeah, so we're out. I'm in Colorado. It's September 1st, opening day. September 2nd, I guess.
All right, how much time you got? Like on this?
I have 3 days. I come in.
That's tight.
It's tight. I have 3 days to hunt.
do you do this every year? Because
I do this every year.
Okay.
Yeah. Buddy of mine named Levi McLeod. Shout out to Levi. A place called Homestead Ranch, one of the most beautiful ranches I've ever seen. I hunt the park up there, but I stay with those guys.
Gotcha.
And so it's early, so they're not bugling. So you almost spot. It's opening day, man.
they're not bugling.
They're not. They start bugling. If I'm estimating 12th to 15th, probably. They start talking. I go on the 2nd. It's opening day.
Why are you picking? Or you want first?
Because I'm hunting the park and I don't want them bumped yet.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, gotcha.
I'm,
You want first go at
it's
'em.
like it's harder hunt. It's like turkey hunt when they won't gobble.
Oh yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Like
Tough.
they're just. It's see them.
Make 'em
and get in
move.
position,
Yeah.
and because they'll come to a cow call, but they won't talk to you, so you won't know they're coming. Like you need to put eyes on them.
Yeah.
So this is day. Man,
You
day
drive or
3,
fly?
Yes, I flew out.
Okay.
Flew out. And I'm bow hunting. I'm with Levi. We spot the elk at daylight up on the side of the hill in a bald spot in the aspens, right? So there's a
Beautiful.
clear spot in the middle of those aspens. We can see that elk.
Are they turning yet? The aspen's turning yet? Or are they still?
No, it was just turning now.
Gotcha.
So they were
Ball spot, you mean like meadows?
like a meadow in the middle of the
Yeah, flat.
mountains, right?
Yeah.
And it's 400 yards up the mountain, right? Like we're looking with spotting scopes from way back. We go to make the move on the elk. We go up the mountain. You know, I'm sucking wind like a flatlander, right? So he's like, "Come on, right?"
Jeez.
We get up to this bald spot. There is a patch of willows, probably as big as this living room, right? It's 10 foot tall. I can't see through it. They can't see me. So I'm going to get behind that patch of willows. Levi's like, I'm going to be 30 yards below you.
But you're at this point, you're on the elk.
He's 100 yards.
Okay.
We've slid up to within 100 yards of this elk in this bald spot. There's this patch of willows. I slid up behind the willows as cover. He drops down 20 yards away. There's going to cow call.
Perfect.
Right? So I found a path, like a beat down trail, right? Now,
Good chance they'll come through this thing if they come near
all right.
this
Well, in
car.
them state parks and national parks, they'll do deals and people run cattle on them, right? So there's Angus cows running on this on this state park, right?
Sure.
Because I can see some of these trails. I grew up on a cattle ranch. I can tell it's a cow trail.
Yeah.
So I'm standing in one of them cow trails beside this mountain. Elk's 100 yards. Other side, he's in the edge of the aspens. Other side of these willows, right?
You got eyes on him.
Levi does. I'm behind these willows. I need him to come down to here,
Gotcha.
which he's feeding down anyway.
Oof.
Perfect. I'll sit there for maybe 20 minutes. Levi's cow call and let it sit. Give him the cow call. He'll let it sit. So I hear something coming below me. Now I'm looking this way. I got to hold my bow as I tell this story.
You're good.
So I'm like this, right? I'm full camoed up. I don't have a face mask on, face painted. Don't have a face mask on. Waiting for this elk to come out. Behind me, I hear movement. So I look over my shoulder, and 3 Black Angus cows are coming up the trail that I'm standing on. They're just walking up. Now I'm full camo, so they
don't even know you're there.
They don't know I'm there at all. So now here's where cow psychology. This is where I got to quit. This is why I'm mad at cow. Because I don't know how to talk cow, right? So I'm looking. I hear the elk walking over there. I mean, I know he's going to come. He's coming to Levi just like he's supposed to. So I'm looking back at this cow, the cattle, not a cow, elk cow,
Right.
but
Cow.
cattle.
Yeah, cow.
Black Angus.
Now, she's
moo
5
cow.
yards from me now. She's about like that backpack. She's right there. And I'm decided what do you say to a cow to make them walk away, not
The
run
other
away?
way.
Okay, let's think about that.
Okay.
What is your move if a cow, how do you, because you're wanting to push the cow back,
I'm not
for-
making any harsh.
So
movement.
here's the 3 choices that came to mind right away.
Okay.
Right away, I decided I can blink,
Okay.
I can head nod,
Yeah.
or I can arm wave.
All little movements.
None of them changed my bow shot. None of them changed my position. None, right?
Right. None of them make sound.
So
Okay.
you just X out sound. You're not going to go, hey cow. No,
The elk is right there. I mean, he is coming to this
so
cow.
sound is not an option.
I maybe I wasn't smart enough to come up with that at the time.
No, I get it. There's probably a lot of things going on.
I mean, at this point, I let the cow get 5 yards from me. She's right there. So go ahead. What would you have done? What would you have tried?
I mean, something like that. I think I would have done little movements, maybe like if she's not stopping, maybe like
That's your move?
something just to get the attention, let the cow look at me, and then make subtle movements to try to nudge it
I think
away.
this is me right here. I think I'm ankle maybe. Just to give him like, man, instead of like eyesight, I think maybe just like, but you know what, dude? I'm thinking about that while I'm sitting on the couch after 8 hours of sleep. You just hiked up a dang mountain and
I went with the double blink.
Okay.
I went with the
double blink.
double blink. Is
That's
what I
it?
went with. Trust me, in cow, that means run like hell. Do not say double blink. If you are ever in said situation, double blink is the wrong thing to say.
Hey, cow, that means get the hell
means
out.
roll.
Dude.
That
You about to
those
die.
cows bolt.
Dude.
I hear the elk bolt up into the aspens. Levi looks up. He's like, "What?"
Yeah.
I go, "I don't speak cow."
Okay. Hindsight. If you could go back, what would you do?
I've thought about it over and over 1,000 times. Would I have?
Just stayed.
would-
So what would have happened if you just stayed still?
Here's the deal. She's coming up the trail faster than the elk is coming down.
Have you ever seen?
So there's going to be an there's going to be an altercation.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen cattle mess with cow or like mess with elk like that? Like if elk
I don't
sees
think
it,
it bothers them at all. I don't think. I think anything breaking and running because they're scared of anything is very noticeable.
You
but
out? I'm out
but
too,
if
baby.
you would have let the cattle just walk up,
There was no way she doesn't come
was
head
gonna-
on to me.
she's just gonna-
like I'm facing away from her, so she's going to
You're gonna
run
walk-
into my
you're on the
tail.
trail. Yeah,
like
that's
even
right.
if she had scraped beside me, I would have fell over and she would have both. I mean, I was trying to think of a way she just.
yeah.
Maybe I should have done it earlier when she wasn't 5 yards. Maybe at 20 yards, I give a hat wave.
Yeah.
Maybe she walks then.
Yeah, sure.
But
maybe not. Because I got a feeling those cows out there are probably a lot wilder than
skittish.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. I mean, but back to the point is I hate Black Angus cows for a little while.
Have you ran?
I love their
I'm a little bitter.
love their tenderloins. but
How do you
hate
feel
them on
about because there's like a recent introduction of wolves. Has that messed with Levi up there any yet?
They haven't said so yet. It may in the future. And I didn't talk about it honestly. I was in the woods. I didn't want to talk about wolves.
No doubt.
I was worried about bears. I had time.
What's a recent introduction up there? They just introduced a herd, and I read. I'm not sure if this is for sure or not, but one of the wolves had gotten a taste for cattle, and they had to actually
Remove it.
Yeah, remove the pack. I guess.
Yeah, I haven't. I've heard wolves.
You've heard them up there.
I've heard them.
Oh, wow.
But I haven't seen. I haven't. And I mean, they could coyotes probably. I mean, I don't know that I know a wolf from a coyote,
Yeah.
y'all.
Yeah, because we've never
No,
Heard them.
I've heard that it's a lot lower.
that Montana. I remember that Montana. Remember
It's
that
like
Montana
it's almost like a
when you
weird.
killed that elk in Montana, and we were
Yeah, no
and there
doubt.
was that one.
Yeah, we were like pictures, and then we're like, okay, let's get out of here.
Get
We gotta-
out of here, buddy. Maybe it's time to get on.
Yeah, in Black Mesa, I don't know if they had in that park. I don't know if they have wolves introduced there or not. I'm sure. I know in Colorado, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Man,
which is
when did the and how did the elk bug get you?
My father-in-law took me 7 years ago, maybe. I had taken him to Alaska king salmon fishing.
Oof.
And he had said, man, I want you to meet this family called the McLeods. He goes, I won a Ducks Unlimited raffle 25 years ago and went out and hunted with these people, and we became great friends. And it's one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen.
Huh.
And so he took me out there. I don't know. As soon as I hit the mountain, it was over.
Really?
As soon as I heard an elk, it was over for me. I was like, okay.
I got to figure out a way to do this every year.
what I
Well,
gotta do.
it's turkey hunting on steroids 4 times.
Yeah.
And you add the mountains and you add altitude and oxygen and how fast those elk move and how little room for messing up there is.
Yeah, a couple of blinks.
Oh man, it is the most difficult and the most fun thing. It's very top of my list. I mean, it is. I am terrible at it.
Yeah.
I get to hunt. If I'm there 3 days, one of those days I get to hunt with Levi, and it's like watching a master class, and I'll see 3 times more animals than I did with me hunting by myself for
Wow.
2 days.
Wow.
But just the challenge of it, I just love it. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. I love the aspen.
Yeah.
And I love all of it, man.
It's the one
Out
thing.
West, I love it.
It is the one thing. Oh, the West is magical, man. Hunting anything on the West. It's the one thing that we haven't done that I know as soon as we do it,
Yeah.
it's the same thing. It's
Oh, well,
over.
let's fix that problem.
It's over. Like it's
Yeah.
over for us. Because like I love bow hunting anyway, but like I can't imagine. And I've told this, but like I was walking through the Tetons in September one time a few years ago, and there were 4 herds of elk on either side of me bugling their ass off, and I was standing there with my pack on, and bro, the feeling I felt right there, and I told my wife,
Not even having a bow or a gun or nothing.
nah, that's what I told my wife. I said, man, it doesn't get any better than this right here. I was like, the only way it does is if I have a bow in my back and I'm trying to figure out which one to go
tag.
after.
Yeah,
like,
it is-
and I can't imagine what that feels like.
I'd be fine with a video camera. I mean,
Sure,
it's just breathtaking, and watching those animals move and how they go up and down cliffs, and it's just, if there's a difficult spot on the mountain to get to, that's where they are. How big a boy are you?
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're planning your attack on, I can't get there.
Yeah.
I'm not man enough to do that. I'm gonna have to find another way around. I mean, it is, dude. It is okay. I know y'all's hunting schedule stays very full. Y'all hold second week of September. next year.
Don't say it.
I'm telling you right now.
I'll lock her down
Lock-
today,
hold
baby.
second week of September,
All right.
and let me put some things together. Make
That'd
some
be
phone
awesome.
calls,
That'd be
and
sick.
We're in.
it'll be, dude. You'll be ruined.
Oh, I know.
It
I know.
is.
Yeah.
It's like I said, I'm in love with Colorado. I'm in love with that West, the elk, all of it.
Yeah.
Learning how to do it, watching people that are really, really good at it. I mean, some of the whitetail skills apply,
Sure.
the hunting skills in general, but learning habits and I mean, I've looked at wind wrong for in the South and in the Midwest, there's 4 winds. Out there, they're looking at it 3D. They're playing thermals. They're playing up and down. So at this time the thermals are going down, and at exactly 9 o'clock the sun's going to peak and warm that, and they're going to shoot up. So you need to be up
gotta
there
be-
by then.
Oh,
And
wow.
Like
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
a whole.
yeah.
They're looking at it in 3D, and it makes my brain melt
Yeah.
when I can't factor in as many angles as he can.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
But it's just really
You and I were talking about that in the parking lot while Reid was late, and it was
Thanks, Siri.
there is
And construction, just stop.
okay, all right. There is no. Okay, make sure I structure this sentence correctly. It's almost like there's no fast pass to becoming like a woodsman.
Correct. I agree.
It doesn't exist. And it's like an equalizing, I don't want to call it a sport, but it's an equalizing activity that you can't just, now look, blind squirrel finds a nut, dude.
That's right.
I'm not going to say that they don't.
That's
Sure,
right.
man.
You know what I'm saying? But man, you have to be in it and be around it and be observant, like you're saying. And nobody can just tell you this stuff.
No, right.
You gotta shoot your bow. You gotta shoot your muzzleloader. And it feels stupid at the time when it's 98 degrees and there's a box sitting out there at 50 yards. But when a giant deer's in front of you and you're winded, you want to know that you know how to get that cap in and out of that breech easily.
Well, even things like you think you're quiet in the woods.
1,000%.
You think you're going slow and you think you're moving quietly till you see somebody move slow and quietly and you're like,
I'm not doing. I wasn't
that's
doing
not,
that.
I'm
flying.
I am screaming.
And I'm super loud.
I'm
racing
loud
to
as
the
hell. Yeah.
Right. It's like, oh.
Yeah, man. There's so many, and I think that's the thing. You know, you were talking about the challenge of it, and I know you enjoy that almost as much as the hunt is the challenge of what you're trying to do. And man, there's just no fast pass to it. Like you have to work through the challenge, and it makes it a whole lot sweeter on the other side. A lot like writing songs, as opposed to just walking into some.
Yeah, dude. It's just like anything
It's
else
sweeter.
in life,
It
man.
tastes sweeter when it works.
Experience is the best teacher.
You just have to learn.
You got
It's
to.
like I learned enough. I mean, from going out this, and like I said, it's been 7 times. But after this time, I'm like, okay, I need to start working out a month earlier. Thought I was in shape. I'm not 6-8 miles a day on top of those ridges. It's not. And me running in my tennis shoes, that ain't gonna work. I need to run in them boots because I'm gonna have blisters on the sides of my heels from walking on the side of the mountains.
And that's a huge thing.
It's not flat terrain.
Yeah.
So you jogging on flat terrain and you get on the side of the mountains and the boots don't fit the same.
Dang.
Man, where did your love for the outdoors come from? Where did it start?
From my father. I grew up, my dad hunted and fished, and I grew up in North Florida on a ranch, cattle ranch down there, and outdoors is the only thing to do. Sports and outdoors, that's basically all there was.
Yeah.
So I don't remember not being in the woods with my dad.
Really?
I mean, we ran dogs. It was not still hunting, not bow hunting.
Yeah.
It was rifles and
Gung-ho.
everybody hauling ass around the woods
Yeah.
with trucks full of dogs, and it was a blast. You know, but the being outside is good for my soul. Like
come on.
I don't know. I'd be really hard to deal with if I didn't get outside. If it's
Hell, I'm hard to deal with anyway.
well, I get it. Me too.
I mean, if I don't have that, I can't.
If I like going to Colorado and going to Illinois and going duck hunting and going dove hunting and getting to go bass fishing, those are like the next thing I really look forward to. Right?
Totally.
It's like we got a month worth of killing ourselves, but we're going fishing 4 weeks from now. It's it's where and it's what we write about. I mean,
Yeah, man.
it's
Totally.
it's work and play for us.
How did you? That's a great segue into like I kind of know the story after your group of guys got together because I can remember riding home.
Oh my gosh, man!
From you,
Those are some of my favorite. Those are some of my favorite.
What is
trips?
it? 2.5 hour ride, something like that.
3.5.
3.5.
3.5. And I can remember you being like, "All right, boys, settle in."
Yeah.
This is, and obviously we can't tell that whole story, but like, dude, I remember. You remember we got out of the truck, and I felt like I had just like watched a movie or was in a dream, and was like,
Yeah, man.
that's one of the most amazing, like well thought out tales I've ever heard in my life, man. About so many people and so much influence that all happened to pop at the same time in Nashville.
Well, y'all were very much there. Yeah, I could, like I said, I could smell it on y'all. And
Oh,
all the
for
Luke
sure.
stuff y'all were doing.
No, you
and-
said it. I say this all the time. Sorry to interrupt, but you said
Yeah.
to us, and look, man, there's so many people that their entire intention was to get on the train with us. And they would say and do, and we didn't even know we were on the train. We didn't even know we were on the train. But there were so many people that would say things, and you look back and like, oh man, that guy was just trying to get a co-writer, get to Luke or whatever. And bro, you were so honest and said, hey man, I've had this run that you're about to have, and the next 5 to 10 years of your life are going to be incredible.
Amazing.
And that was it. There was no, is it cool if I get a co-write? Or, hey, because you think you maybe it was just like, and you said, man,
Hold on, man.
Enjoy your time. Yeah. And meanwhile, we're driving back to our rent house and we're like, man, this motherfucker's full of shit. But as long as he lets us keep hunting Illinois, I'm straight with him. You know what I'm saying? As long as that 8 point keeps, that 188 8 point keeps showing up down there in the bottom. No, I just appreciate that. And it was so true. And I didn't even understand it at the time, but it has been so true.
I've learned, and not even knowing that I was learning in the time, but I learned how to communicate in our circle of friends and with our artist buddies, like better because of watching you with Dallas and you with Lee and Jamie and Luke guys. And all those cats, man, that like your group, man. I learned how to, and honestly from you and those rides home, like deal with a lot of the shit that we've been through in town since then.
Sure. And the people, man.
And having no clue, and that's, man, like having no clue that's going on in that truck when we're driving home, but it coming into practice, 5 years later that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, y'all were y'all were well on your way. Y'all had a great kindred group of brothers who were in it together.
Sure.
Y'all all had the same goals. People were starting to get deals and starting to, and I had heard your songs were really good, and I really liked you guys. I mean, y'all, the podcast made y'all were so funny together. It was like I said.
Appreciate it.
We miss you guys being up there. Y'all got to come hunt.
Oh, we definitely will. Can you walk me through your first interaction? How did you bump into all your homies?
In Nashville?
Yeah.
All
the writing stuff.
My first. I wasn't a singer. I wanted to write songs for other people, so I never planned on playing and singing songs. I just wanted to write for great singers.
Same. That's exactly my story.
First guy I met in Nashville is a guy named Jared Neiman. We lived together for 5.5 years. He basically taught me. I knew nothing. I didn't know what a publishing deal was. I didn't know what a record deal was.
So you just move up to try it?
Dude, I had written 5 songs by myself to try to score ladies. And
hell yeah.
I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah.
I just didn't know it was a job.
Okay.
We had, you don't want this whole story, but I had...
cherry pick it, man.
Yeah, go for it.
There's some great stuff in there.
So Jared and I lived together for 5.5 years. He basically taught me the business. We were out one night at a round, heard 5 guys playing.
What year is this, sorry?
2001 to 3, probably, right in there.
Okay.
I'd left University of Florida and moved up here. Quit school, a couple classes left to decide to be a songwriter.
It's a familiar tale, dude.
Yeah,
classic. It's a familiar story.
3 hours at Mississippi State. If y'all want to give me those, my mom would love it.
In those first 3 years, we all became buddies with these different guys. Randy Hauser and Jamie Johnson, Jared Neiman, Lee Brice.
May have heard of him.
Dallas Davidson.
Yeah. May have heard of all of them.
I got him Wade Battle. We were all writing songs together all the time. We ended up getting an office together. I was bartending at the Wild Horse, and Jamie was laying sheetrock, and he was starting to get a record interest. We got a little office in UA Tower. That was the cheapest place on Music Road. They were selling drugs and filming porn out of there.
Oh, jeez.
So
you weren't.
We weren't. Nobody wanted to pay us. If they would have offered, boys. they never served it that direction. So we go to get this little office, and we go downstairs to the leasing agent to sign the agreement. Me and Jared Neiman and Jamie Johnson. And they said, "What y'all want to call the place?" And we said, "Well, just put our names on all 6 of us." And they go, "No, don't have room between the elevators." And Jamie said, "Just call it the Traler Park." So the guy goes in there and he writes. The guy can't spell for shit, so he writes down TRALERPARK on the leasing agreement, which is what they put on the door. Trailer Park spelled wrong.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So I was embarrassed, man. I was so mad. I'd quit college to be a writer. It was terrible.
And they're misspelling words.
Trailer Park.
But if you look on the side of Jamie's airplanes and buses and all that, it's still Trailer Park Incorporated.
Come on, man.
And we all still do charity shows. We did a show this past weekend in Savannah.
I saw that, man.
Pancreatic cancer thing. So we still we're brothers. Our kids call each other uncle, and we all have business together. And,
beautiful.
So in that process, what was like the first song to get you going in that thing?
The first song was a song me and Dallas and Brett Jones wrote, a song called "If Heaven's Far Away" for a guy named Justin Moore.
Jam.
And that was my first That was my first hit. That was the first.
Can you just? I'm combing this story through my brain as much as I can. I'm filtering this story as much as I can, and I don't think there's anything.
Be careful.
Incriminating.
Because there's
Listen, man. We had
a lot of truck rides, a lot of stories.
I know.
Yeah, which one's he gonna be?
I know. You're starting over right now.
We didn't preface. We didn't do this. We didn't talk about this before this podcast.
Should bring that NDA back up.
This is stuck with me, dude. Can you at least tell the Music Row show story with Jamie or no? With the towel.
No.
Okay. Dang it! Dang, I love that story so much. Okay.
I knew that was the one you're going to bring up to me because it's the one that stuck in my head. I've told that story a million times, but never on air, dude. You can't tell that story on air.
There's nothing. Why?
Yeah, there is. There's a few things.
Just couple.
You would just be basically ragging on Jamie, but
Yeah, that ain't gonna work. He'll show up here tomorrow.
Hey, pick up that guitar and play if heaven wants something.
Here, you do it. Or I'll try. I don't care.
You play better than I do. Let's see.
Where do you do it?
Here, play. But you can pick up
pick up yours, pick up yours.
Yeah, y'all play together. Dude, this song from the start of it, man.
Your half step. I'm gonna go to standard. Can you do that? To
No,
mess you up?
I'm
He's full step down.
full step.
Oh, okay, you came down to me. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go up.
Great.
Here, me. You want?
No,
That one. Well, every day I drive to work across Flint River Bridge, 100 yards from the spot where me and Grandpa fished. There's a piece of his old fruit stand on the side of Sawmill Road. He'd be there peeling peaches and figs 20 years ago. Oh, what I wouldn't give to ride around in that old truck with him. If heaven wasn't so far away, I'd pack up the kids and go for the day. Introduce them to their grandpa, watch them laugh at the way he talked. Find my long lost cousin John, one we left back in Vietnam. Show him a picture of his daughter now. She's a doctor and he'd be proud. Tell him we'd be back in a couple days. In the rearview mirror, we'd all watch him wave. And losing them wouldn't be so hard to take if heaven wasn't so far away.
Whose idea was that?
I think it was a Dallas idea. I don't remember. I mean, it was a long time ago, man. We didn't even have publishing deals back then. We were Dallas and I. Neither one had a publishing deal. Brett was he was a pro, right? He'd already written a bunch of hits, but we were green as green.
So did you maintain the publishing for that entire number one?
Well, that song sat on for 7 years. So that did
really?
Yeah. We wrote that song and got him. Rhett Akins had a record deal at the time before Rhett was doing the writing thing. I mean, he obviously was a great writer already, but he had signed a record deal with, I think it was Joe Galante, I believe at the time. Rhett had cut that song to put out for his record. Labels, things got changed all around with the label. That thing didn't come to fruition. It was probably 7 years later. Jeremy Stover calls me at, 10 o'clock at night. He says, Hatch, he goes, did you write that Heaven Once Far Away song? I go, yep. He goes, well, we love it for Justin Moore. He goes, don't play it for anybody else. I go, it's 7 years old. Everybody
ain't been playing for anybody else.
He was going through YouTube and found the version of Rhett doing it.
Wow.
And a video just of Rhett doing the song.
Come on.
And they went back in for Justin's record, I don't know, right after that. And,
Beautiful.
Recut the song. But no, that song's been there for a long time.
That was a giant.
Thank you, buddy.
That was a giant.
All right, look, if you can't tell that one story, Find one you can tell because you've got some amazing stories, and I want to hear some. I'm mad about that. I wanted to hear that one again.
You can tell it. You can tell us in the parking lot.
Let's see which one you want to hear, man. We got a bunch of them.
Just give me one that shows a little bit of the personality of you boys being young, and
okay, we did a. This is shouldn't do this neither.
Okay, that's the one I want. As close as we can get to the line.
So we're back at UA Tower. We had the Traler Park going on. A Music Row magazine. I don't know if it was Music Row magazine, but it was a magazine back then. Had asked us to do a show in the parking lot of that place, right? So we'd put it together. Jamie had put it together. He go, hey guys, all y'all come play. We'd always played all this together, So they set the stage up. We showed up an hour early for the show to get stuff ready, and nobody's there. I mean, there's nobody there. We're like, dude. He's like, they told me that, We're like, man. So we just proceed to go to Red Door, and we start doing shots.
Yeah.
Just one after the other, right? So
how much time is there before the show starts?
An hour. So about 45 minutes.
Did you walk?
Like,
Did you walk?
Yeah, we walked.
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah.
So we're like, let's just hell with this, boys. Let's go get our stuff and be done with this. Now we can barely make it back up the street, and we get up the street. There's probably 200 people standing around.
Just like Nashville to show up at a time.
The stage, and we let each other like.
Somebody better figure something out real quick.
This is gonna be pretty bad. So we all end up on stage all together, and it's a fiasco of epic proportions. And one of them's playing lead in the wrong key. One of them, I think Dow did "Country Boy Can't Survive," but the long-haired country boy he did twice. I think somebody fell off the stage and somebody broke their guitar.
Oh my gosh.
I left my guitar in the parking lot that night, found it the next morning.
Oh my gosh.
It was not our.
That sounds very on par with the Trailer Park. Man.
Yeah, it was pretty wild back then. Those was the good old days.
That's awesome.
Brent Cobb was on here and was talking some really funny things about Jamie.
One of the funniest guys ever.
Yeah, what is it about him that makes him? And look, I've heard recently he's super clean.
Is
just signed a new
soberest
just
human
signed a new
on
deal, right?
Yeah, he did. Man.
Good for him, man. Dude,
we've been working on new stuff on his record, and
that's awesome.
Bro,
he's killing it.
I mean, for me, man, that guy might be number one vocalist.
He's one of the most talented humans I've ever
Singing
met.
in color is.
He is next.
I remember the first time I heard that in my parking lot at my house in a work tape, and I like to have passed.
Really?
That's another level.
I'm like, that's the best song I've heard in 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, that is the one.
Yeah,
and he wasn't
that's
gonna cut
the
it at the time.
Yeah. So, how did y'all wrangle him unsober? Like, was there any wrangling?
I don't think we were trying to do any wrangling. I mean, we were spurring each other on back then. We weren't helping.
Oh.
like we were daring it. You know what I mean? It
Sure.
was more of a, how much can we get in? How much can we start? Let's see what these guys will do. Like, if I do this, what will they do? You know what I mean? It's that game.
Challenge.
I mean, Neiman's the same way. I mean,
the whole
I've
crowd.
heard so many stories about them cats.
The whole crowd, man. It was a really good time. It's still a good time. Together, but it's a lot.
How's it cleaned up? Y'all
easier.
drinking Pedialyte?
Well, we just can't go as hard as we used to could.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to handle business, so you can. It's more being around each other and spending time together.
Sure.
And, we're all. They're my best buddies. So it's easy and fun. And like when I started writing with those guys and stuff, like I didn't play, I didn't sing, I didn't do any of those things. And I'm like, I'm never doing that.
Yeah.
Huh.
And it's those guys going, go ahead, dude.
You can do it.
Sing it. I'll sing with you.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
play with you. Come on. Just
And
do
through
it.
that, you just learn your own skill and your own path.
They were who taught me and who showed me. Your peers are who teach you here. You don't have a class.
It's important.
No,
It's
for
important,
sure.
man. And I tell everybody that too. That's like, man, what's if I come to town, what I'm like, man, find a core group and like come up together. Like
Bet on your friends, man.
bet on yourself and bet on your friends, man. Because like I have learned more, yes, by sitting in rooms with vets and hit songwriters and just shutting the hell up and just learning that day.
Well,
and
they all
going
have
to class.
such gifts.
Oh,
that
yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like, if I can learn anything they know,
Right.
then I'll take it. You know what I mean?
Sponge,
It's,
man.
You
Just
know,
be a
and they'll-
sponge.
You know, they teach you, and
Yeah,
they'll,
man.
you know,
And
they don't have to.
No.
They just
And it's fun getting in the room and kind of together with those cats and not knowing what you're doing.
No,
and just
that's-
literally figuring it out, man. Just going off of your love for the genre of music
They're
and,
all
and your
really,
life.
really, really smart.
Yeah.
So you just don't know what they'll do. You know what I mean? It's what would those big brains do when you give it a twist
Totally.
and see what happens.
Yeah.
Tell us
You
about
know.
Hauser, man. Tell us about that guy.
That dude's one of the most talented humans in the world. Like we can play this guitar and it sounds one way. When he plays this guitar,
It doesn't
sounds
sound like
different.
what we do.
It doesn't sound.
It's almost like that guy on the mountain with the elk. It's like it's a different deal.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Where does his soul come from, man? Where does
Mississippi?
really?
Yeah, man. He is that. He is that thing, man. He is like I used to sit and listen to that dude play anything. Like, I mean, he's an expert at all of it. So, I mean, when he's doing music, it's like, well, that's not fair. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, how,
Oh yeah, yeah.
how
Yeah.
When he's
doing
That's
music.
not. Yeah.
he
yeah.
knows what
That's
every
not
other
learned.
instrument is doing. He, teaching our guys how to, how to lead bands and how to. This is what they're going to do, and this is what they need to do, and this is what. He's played in bars and honky tonks longer than anyone that I know.
Boy, you
you-
can hear it on his tone.
It's just so good. The control and the power.
Yeah,
man,
the control's
to
nuts.
control the power.
Bro.
Very few people have the power, but
Yeah,
then to
sure.
be able to control it is
Sure.
Preach.
a whole different.
Did you know back then, like you were in the group with that kind of
Caliber.
that caliber of talent
you
and
know.
writers and what all of y'all have done across the genre of country music and dude, there was a decade of hits that y'all penned, man.
Well,
And
I knew
Well, are
they
still
were.
penning.
No
I
doubt.
I thought they were the most talented. I knew like
In
these
town.
dudes that like I'd ever seen ever, like ever in the world. Like I have seen these guys do some magic tricks that you're just like, did you see that?
Yeah.
Like who can do that? Like
Yeah.
is that a
Sure.
So we all have a lot of faith in each other, right? So. Like Jamie loves to throw us into situations and see what'll happen. They'll have a basic game plan. Like, okay, we're going to have the full band on stage. Everybody's going to do 3 songs each, and then we're going to do 4 or 5 together. Ready, go.
yeah.
You're like, woo.
Okay.
Yeah, which one are you going to do? We know them.
But in those moments, man, magic happens.
Well, with these guys,
And he probably
it
knew
does.
it.
Like, I would panic. Like, that's not my comfort zone at all. But with these guys, with Lee and Jerry and Jamie and Randy and, and Dallas and these guys, you just go, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll work out. And we've been, like I said, we've raised a lot of money for charity over the past, I don't know.
Yeah, I appreciate the heart of those fellas too, man. It's a pretty pretty interesting transition to go from like hell raisers to like charity money raisers. You know?
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Well, that's a very good point. I didn't think of that.
Honestly, it's a fun thing to see and probably a fun thing to be a part of.
It's beautiful, man. I love those guys. I really don't know what Nashville looks like for me without them.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what it's always been.
Our core group
Yeah,
is the same way.
When you have
exact same
kids,
way.
they're at the hospital. And when you have birthdays, they're, you know what I mean? They're,
Yeah, man.
I mean, ours is like you have kids and then they have,
have
kids.
kids.
Like
Right.
we all have kids.
You just
the
do
same-
life together, man.
like Randy's son and my son were born at the same time, and they're best friends. And when they, it's all, our kids are all playing together. And my kids want to go play with Lee's kids at the barn. And they talked to them this morning. And it's all
special.
Man, it's fun.
it's just very, first of all, we're lucky to be alive.
Totally.
Second of all, we're lucky that everyone is still working.
Yeah.
I mean, this business is crazy.
Oh,
you know what
man.
I mean?
We were talking about people who we used to write on the way home yesterday. We wrote and we're driving home or driving somewhere. We were talking about so many cats that like popped into town, had immediate heat. Got to get a day with them. You write a song with them, you're like, man, I don't know if this guy's got it. And dude, 6 months later,
Never hear about it.
it's a vicious town.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
It's what have you done for me lately, and what's the next new thing, and we know that. I mean, like I said, we get to make music for a living. We have the best job in the world. When it's working, man, it's the best job in the world.
That's what I said last night to somebody. I was like, it's the best job in the world if you're successful at it.
When the checks are coming.
When you get canceled on 4 times a week, and
it's a grind.
Can't find a place to play.
It's the gauntlet.
and your Civic hatchback is roof is leaking.
That's right.
And it's cold out there, and your sewage is froze up. That job's a pretty tough job.
Waiting on your wife's check to show up.
or girlfriends.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's a tough business, but
But it also
beautiful.
Yeah, and it is beautiful, man. That's what Nashville and the love of music has brought all of us, right? Is like a chance to chase a dream, and then along the way, that path of chasing your dream, you get to run alongside your best friends and watch them catch dreams, and that's crazy, man.
Well, I mean, we always said, man, we'd love to be successful in music, man. If we could write some hit songs, get some shows, maybe we could go hunt some nice places, man. Maybe we could go kill big deer,
no doubt,
snuff these scrub bugs.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Get out of this gar hole. Go hunt a place with something to kill. Quit practicing.
I ain't seen nothing bigger than a 6 point in 6 months out here, man. This is trash.
Tell us about Inner Song.
Inner Song. So it's which I need to talk to both of you guys about that.
good.
So Jared Damon and I started a year or two ago. It's hit songwriters doing private shows is basically the deal. So it was, we took on the goal of trying to teach people that had never been to Nashville what this was. Right. So if you've been to Nashville and saw a writer's round, well, you're in love with it. You think it's amazing, but a lot of people hadn't been to Nashville.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was, how do we put together a team of people to teach people what it is?
Oh, wow.
Where we can go to other places and do what we do here in Nashville.
Wow.
So we've put together a team of them, of hit songwriters. I think we're 120 probably right now, 122.
Yeah, for sure. We're in.
And, putting on festivals and finding private shows. Cool. And it's been an awesome journey. So
how can people get in touch with it?
I can. It's called innersong.com. We have a website. They can see everything about Innersong. If they want private shows anywhere, from we're putting on festivals and
wow, festivals.
Series.
People care that much about songwriters?
They're starting to. It's funny. What people care about are the songs.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they care about the stories behind those songs. Because those songs are personal to them. It's not your song anymore. It's their song.
1,000%.
You write a hit song and somebody comes and tells you about it. They're telling you about what that song did in their life.
Totally.
Wow.
They're saying that song's about my dad.
That's right.
That song's about my kid.
Yeah.
That's what this is about. And you realize what you wrote it about isn't what it's about. To them, they're telling you what it's about.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That songs connect with people in their own way and do their own thing. And
I also think it's nice to, have an extra source of income, especially when streaming is so trash, right? Songwriters used to have, I remember we were playing golf with Neil Thrasher and he was like, yeah, man, back in the day, if you had 4 or 5 cuts on a record and one single off of it, you could retire. And we were like, what?
Yeah, those are the days when I moved to town. I get to do part of both. Mm-hmm. I've seen that transition and how brutal that is.
And look, man, we're very blessed individuals sitting here right now.
Correct.
We are not laying shingle, and no hate on folks that do. But I'm just saying, the revenue has definitely changed. As far as I think we're in, and everybody kind of knows it. We're in that transition period of trying to figure out what's next, and how do we get paid long term? Because I got 15 years of not making good money back there. That hurt, dude.
I feel you.
Hurt, son.
I feel you. I feel like people are in the fight to win it, right? I feel like we're heading in the right direction, right? Eventually, there will be a rate for digital play. Mm-hmm. All those numbers will come up, and the world will be a little more right.
Yeah.
Now, how long that'll take, I don't know how long that'll take. But being optimistic about it, the numbers that we can reach digitally so far outweigh what we could have done with radio,
hard copies and radio.
Then how do you not look at, hip hop artists with 50 million followers, on the Spotify streams and go, how did that happen? How did
Yeah,
they do
for
that?
sure. Yeah, I feel good about the genre. I feel good about country music as a whole right
me
now.
too. I
I
think
feel
it's
like
I
there's,
do too.
I think it's
And everything changes and evolves, right?
Right.
I mean, it's going to be different than when I was a kid and you could afford, a record a month.
Yeah.
So you didn't stretch at all. I'm going to get George Strait in January. I'm going to get Randy Travis in February. And I'm going to get Keith Whitley.
Planned out.
That's already planned.
I need $35 for them 3 months.
and Hootie and the Blowfish in March.
That's exactly right. You got it planned out, right? Yeah. So we weren't trying new things. We weren't listening to new music that we didn't know. Now, if I'm on Spotify or Pandora or whatever, and I own the whole music store, I own every genre. I have access to all of them. Yep. Well, they're getting exposed to way broader amounts.
That's true.
People that have never listened to country music before are.
Totally.
Which that gives us a chance to grow. Yeah. So if we write good enough songs, if we're good enough, boys.
Yeah.
If we give them good enough stuff, it will grow because the opportunity for the people to find us is there.
Yeah, I like that optimism, honestly.
Give a dreamer some advice, man. Give a kid in Lower Alabama right now. I'm not sure if he wants to move to Nashville.
He's got 4 songs in his pocket.
Yeah, man.
Not sure if they're any good, but his middle school girls like them.
Well, just believe in your truth, man. Your truth is the thing. So, most people come to town to be writers or artists, and they have an idea of what they think they want to do. And then they get exposed to massive amounts of information and all of these talented people and all of these professionals feeding them. Here's what I think you should do. Here's what we should do. And here's what you should do. Yeah. And 90% of the time you come back to a realization of your truth was probably right to begin with. Now,
I agree with that.
you had to unlearn all of this and relearn all of this new stuff to be able to make your truth happen.
Yeah, dude.
Because you wasn't good enough before.
Right. You didn't believe in it before.
That's right. But your truth is probably right.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
So write about what you know, write about what you feel. Don't fake it because everybody will know.
Oh, they will, won't they?
Oh, it's...
And it just gets lost in this vast ocean of everybody else trying. Okay, I guess I need to clean this up. I know we as writers know what we're talking about here, but basically what I think Rob is saying is don't get caught in the trap of chasing what's already hot, because by the time you do that, the wheel is turning and you're already behind.
You're already behind.
And you'll always stay behind if you don't just stay true.
You're just playing catch up.
Yeah,
playing catch up.
The only unique thing about what you do is what you do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And if not, there's this massive ocean of songs that all kind of sound the same because they're all in the same progression, right? Like we were all okay. For example, Florida Georgia Line pops in 2010, right?
Sure.
Well, then the next slew of songs that got poured into these publishers all sounded like that.
Sure.
Well, they owned it. They were already doing that. Yeah.
Sure.
Good luck on hooking to the caboose of that thing moving through the town.
Well, it's.
Which, by the way, didn't you have a song with them?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good one. Praise Jesus, he did.
So, I guess you got on that train, Rob.
He's like, I was on
Everybody else don't try it.
You can't possibly catch up.
Yeah.
You have to do what you know how to do and what you think is right and what feels right to you, and it'll catch up to you, kind of. You know what I mean? It's like nobody was writing a song like Oliver Anthony, right? Totally. And then it comes out of nowhere and it's huge. Well, then a lot of people trying to do it. Yeah. Well, it's like that. Look now,
he got it.
He was doing it when nobody was doing it.
Yeah,
so
right.
It's like,
right.
Who would have thought an audience would go crazy about a bluegrass feeling song? Like, now we know it's badass.
Sure. Yeah.
But would the general public know that? But damn sure do.
Yeah.
They ain't giving them enough credit. Hold on a minute.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm watching my kids and the music they're listening to, and they're coming in, Daddy, have you heard of AC/DC?
Wow.
Have you heard, you're like, yes, I have.
Nope.
This new band Guns N' Roses is sick, dude.
But you go, okay, their taste is solid, man. They're like, okay.
Good music.
The
good
stuff
music.
my kids introduced me to, I'm like, play me what you like, Rude. Play me something new. And you're like, okay, I dig that.
Yeah.
All right, I see what's up.
What are they listening to?
Oh, goodness. SZA and what are the girls, Taylor and...
Yeah.
They own this Post Malone stuff?
They well, my daughter. It's mainly girl stuff with her.
Okay.
But the Morgan Wallen stuff, she's all about that.
Yeah.
So is mine, and mine's 5.
Everybody is.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, that stuff just goes down so easy.
But you just go, you know what? I kind of like what she likes.
Sure.
Yeah.
I kind of, yep.
They're all right.
They're pretty all right. I ain't
Kids
mad
are
at none
all
of
right.
that. My kid ain't stupid. The kid's smart. You know.
Kids are all right.
You know, so it's, you know, if we're smart enough to figure out the truth and give it to them, they'll hear it.
Yeah, man.
That's that's good stuff. Give me. I feel like we've talked about your buddies and how awesome they are, but we ain't mentioned Lee Brice though. Let's talk about Lee Brice. I know y'all got
brother.
special connection there.
Oh, my brother.
He's a deer hunter, singer.
He's an Illinois.
He's
hard at
He
it.
bought, dude. Remember Ernie's? Remember that property, Ernie's?
Yep.
He bought 8 acres of Ernie's. He bought
Love it.
the west side.
Gosh, that guy, dude.
That's a hell of a farm.
Oh, it's still one of my favorite farms.
Oh man, that strip right down the middle, that cut strip in
ditch.
there.
Cornfields all around.
The ditch, yeah.
Man.
It's the ditch.
Yeah, dude.
Remember that ditch in the middle where that?
Yeah, there's a crease that runs down
Is
the
that
middle.
soft-sided blind still down there?
No, we moved the soft-sided blind out of there, but it's how we learned how wind didn't affect down there. Like the soft-sided blinds, all of those were gone in a year.
Really?
Well, the winds up there in the winter are
I just ripped them apart.
just tear them apart.
Those are pretty
that
solid
soft-sided
blinds.
blind in that ditch, 6 years it sat there and looked exactly like the day we got
Really?
it.
Wow.
There's no wind in that channel. It completely blocks the wind off. So when it's really windy and rough, all those deer drop down in there.
Interesting.
Because it's safe and there's corn on both sides.
there's
and
beans all
water, and
around
it's
it.
blocking that ditch is blocking the wind off. I mean, it's deep. I mean, it's
Oh, no doubt.
4 stories deep from the bottom of that ditch to the top
Is
of
it
that
really?
hill. Oh, it's deep, man.
Dang, I didn't know.
If you're up on the field, like you're up in the field
Yeah,
looking down in the woods of the ditch.
That's true.
Yeah, it's deep, man.
That's true. So it's just like a little hole in there, a little bowl.
Ledge that goes. I mean, it's.
So sorry, we're deer hunting again. Anyway, Lee Brice is real cool.
No, he's one of my brothers from another mother. That's, I don't, we've written a lot of songs together. We hunt together. We have a digital record label together, called Pump House Records. We, he's our kids play together.
How did I Don't Dance come to be?
I started at Dallas's house in a swimming pool with Lee playing a guitar up over his head.
Keep it dry.
Well, they don't get out of the pool. Right?
No way.
Yeah.
He's literally playing it like just.
Yeah, we started at Dallas's house.
Here, I'll go with you.
And then we went to my house the next day to finish it. Lee had said he wanted a song about, he was going to get married, right? And he decided he wanted a song to dance with his wife at his wedding. It was going to be the song he wanted. So we came up with I Don't Dance. We wrote the verse and the chorus. First
Killer hook. I mean, immediately you see that hook and you're like,
Great.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
We wrote the verse and the chorus, and Lee called it right then. He said, "There it is." He said, "There's the title track. There's the first single." That's the song right there.
Wow.
Which was, a train wreck the second verse, but
Sure.
I hate when he's right, but he nailed that
give us
one.
a touch of that thing. Where are you
Nailed
playing
that
it out of?
I'm a step down because I can't sing like y'all.
No, you good.
God, I love this song.
Well, I'll never settle down.
The melody's so good.
That's what I always thought. I'm not that kind of man. Just ask anyone. Well, I don't dance, but here I am, spinning you round and round in circles. It ain't my style, but I'd do anything with you anyway. Yes, you got me in the palm of your hand, 'cause I don't dance.
Dang. God, that song's so good, dude. Billy Montana on that?
No, that's me and Dal and
What did he write? Didn't he write a
Billy wrote.
Hard to Love.
Yeah.
Oh, Hard to Love.
That's what
He might be on Rumor too.
Oh, dude, Rimmer was so.
I don't know who else on that song. I wasn't on that.
Ashley was on
it.
that.
Ashley. The ones I ain't on, I don't pay attention to.
Same. Shout out though, love y'all boys, but same.
Y'all all the same way, you know it too. Come on now. Ain't tripping nobody.
Oh, dude, I could do this for 4 hours, man.
Too much fun.
We've already been here for an hour and 20 minutes, man. Let's get to.
When he got away, yeah.
Yeah, do we have a song? Is that the one we have?
Uh-huh.
I'm sure that was important, that thing you had to say, but it's a part of the show for the one that got away. One that got away.
Okay. 2 years ago, I'm hunting. Do you remember the Elias property? I don't know if you remember that property.
I do not.
If the Ernie's property is here, it's 2 properties away, probably.
Okay.
So it's quarter mile.
Sure.
We had seen a really big deer.
For the record,
Yes.
before we get into this, are we good? Do we need to cut out these property names, or are you fine with it?
I don't care. They're the name of the farmer that owns the place.
So nobody
it's
knows
just
anything.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
not
I'm just making sure nobody's be like, oh, that's where they were.
No,
You know
they
what I mean?
don't. No, we got
Yep.
11,000 acres. Good luck. Good luck, boys.
Ballin'. Okay. All right.
We had seen a big deer at this property. Somebody had saw him that day, laying on this field they like to bet on. It's a big hill. The CRP all over. They like
Had
in the middle of
literally
that
laid
CRP.
eyes on him in daylight.
Correct. They had seen him it was during the rut, so they'd seen him during the middle of the day. It was shotgun weekend. So in Illinois, you can they have qualifications of guns that you can shoot during shotgun weekend, right? So at that point, a 300 blackout was a legal thing. This was, I don't know, 3 years ago.
It's not anymore?
It's not anymore.
Oh, wow.
No, none of the AR platforms.
Huh.
But the anyway, I'm a bow hunter mainly, you know.
Yeah.
So I had this gun that was set up to be able to shoot during shotgun season. I go to hunt this property. I see a deer moving in the head of woods as I'm leaving the truck. I grab my sticks and throw my sticks in the middle of the field and throw that gun on those sticks.
You have just left the truck.
I'm 20 yards out of the truck, headed to the head of woods that this deer's in. And the deer sees me. And when the deer sees me, he breaks to go across the field. He takes maybe 2 steps into the field and turns and looks at me. And I went, whew, click, 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 click. And the gun wouldn't go off. And deer breaks and runs off. And I eject the shell out, and you can see where it hit the pin.
The hammer's
hit
just...
the pin. I had left it in the truck, and then the temp dropped, and it froze it up, and it didn't get all the way to the bullet. So
man.
it was. I still have the cartridge.
Big deer
with the he's
giant deer.
Not big as his. I'd say 160 is probably.
Oh, that's a big deer, man.
It's a big deer.
That's a big, mature
But
deer.
that was the very last time I ever took a rifle into a field ever again. I'll shoot shotguns at birds and stuff, of course, but I bow hunt exclusively.
Really?
I'll never shoot another. No, I'll shoot a muzzleloader in muzzleloader season. But I'll never shoot another centerfire cartridge.
Wow, interesting.
I'm done. Right then, I was like, I'm a bow hunter.
Yeah.
I would have killed that deer dead as a wedge.
Wow.
He's 60 yards.
Yeah.
He was
Do you shoot all year long, or do you shoot just
all
in
year
the...
long.
Wow.
Yeah. But for me, it's more of a meditation thing for me. It's like if I get super stressed out, or if I got a business call, if we're talking on a Zoom, a business call, I'm probably slinging arrows.
Huh.
Like I'm probably in my yard and the phone's hung up on my hanger, and I'm slinging arrows.
Isn't it interesting what it does for you mentally?
Yeah, just focus for me. It's when you got all these things you're trying to figure out, and it's like, no, put the pin on the dot, and
you control
pull
that.
the trigger. Right.
Yeah.
I can go through my process of anchor, relax, breathe, drop down. You know what I mean? Like I can in a minute I go, what was I talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What do you
I
shoot? What
all
bow are
of
you
it.
shooting?
I shoot Matthews.
You like it?
I love it.
Is it the V3? Or?
It is.
Yeah.
I shot
Is
the
that what we
C7
have?
Stream for a long time.
Yeah.
27 or 31?
27.
Okay, we got the 31.
And
I like the 27 though. I
like the
I thought it was a little hotter, but honestly, as like I don't care about having the hottest bow anymore. I just want something smooth.
I killed all my elk with that bow.
Really?
Yeah. Then I went to this. Like I'm hopefully smoke some whitetails with it this year. But,
Sure.
But yeah, I like the small. I mean, that bow could send it.
Yeah, it sends it.
Yeah, those are mean.
There ain't no doubt. I love those V3s, man.
And then it was light, man. So out west walking, it was like,
Yeah.
Oh, that makes
that's
a lot of
good,
sense.
Yeah.
dude, you wait till we go next year. I'm telling you.
He's already speaking it into existence, man.
Hey.
I'm already telling you right now. If y'all got time, we're gonna go.
What is it from?
Because I'm gonna go.
From the mouths of babe to the ears of our Lord, baby.
Yeah,
Let's make
speaking
it
into
happen,
existence.
Hey,
man.
man. Like I said, we'll wait. It's on. It's
All right,
on.
what's your favorite song? That's greatest / favorite tune, kind of cornerstone tune in your
Like just any song?
Any song,
Like
any-
favorite song?
any song.
Oh, that's easy. Don Williams. Good old boys like me. That wins
DW,
every
dude.
time, man. Just kidding. Let's see. When I was a kid, Uncle Remus would put me to bed with a picture of Stonewall Jackson above my head. Then Daddy'd come in, kiss his little man, with gin on his breath and a Bible in his hand. He'd talk about honor and things I should know. Then he'd stagger a little as he went out the door. I can still hear the soft southern winds in the live oak tree. And those Williams boys, they still mean a lot to me. Hank in Tennessee, I guess we're all gonna be. So what do you do with good old boys like me?
Dude, DW, dude. Don Williams.
Don
man.
Williams. Dude,
Maybe
man.
the smoothest cat out there.
Yeah, man.
Dude, all those Bob McDill songs are the bomb, man.
Yeah.
They're my favorites.
Yeah, when I think about that like era of singers, I mean, outside of like rose-colored glasses,
John Conley.
John Conley and geez, who's the blind guy?
Ronnie Millsap.
Ronnie Millsap. Those are some smooth cats, dude.
Dog.
Hit them
those
Don
cats are
Williams.
Dogs, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Conway, dude. I mean, are there that silky smooth singers? Are those guys in our genre right now? at this
what a
point?
better title for a artist that's a song's best friend, man. That's like what?
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
Let me sing it.
I'm more like a song's
Song's
worst
enemy.
enemy, dude. Oh, Rob, man, we
dude.
love you. You
Yeah,
know
I
we
love
love
you
you.
guys.
I wish
Yeah,
we
we
could
love
sit
you like
here
a
for
brother,
another 2
man.
hours.
I appreciate y'all letting me come on.
Dude,
Oh
absolutely.
no,
Great
you're the
morning.
best. Dude.
Absolutely.
That was so fun. Thanks for coming. Kill a big old deer and send us pictures this year.
You know I will, and we'll have to tell them about our elk hunt next
I
time.
can't wait to get in the woods, man. Seriously.
I love you guys.
Love you, man. Thanks.
pal. Rob Hatch, everybody. Thanks for hanging out in God's country. We'll see y'all next time.
Yay.